Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Simon from Siphon TCG. And what you guys see in front of you is not a mirage. I promise it's not. It is the Kano deck I took this weekend, kind of. So one thing I do want to get, I do want to let you guys know that the Kano deck that you guys are seeing here is the version I took to the 10K, not the 20K. The 20K being the Invitational. I was inspired by some lads and some gentlemen to make a few changes to my Kano deck for day two, and I'm not gonna say they didn't work, but they might have worked. It kind of felt good. So let's talk about Kano and why I actually ended up bringing Kano. I actually ended up bringing Kano for the wrong reason. Let me tell you why. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, no one's gonna bring AB anymore because Icelander's gone," and I'm sitting there going like, "Yeah, no one should bring AB because Icelander's gone." And the one thing that I feel like there's a misconception about when it comes to Kano is he is just unibroadly favored into aggro. That runs like no AB. Here's why it's not. Why it's not like disgustingly in favor. Let me be more specific. If Phi or whatever deck you want to say brings like 73,000 damage every single turn, you have to have it by like turn 2, turn 3. Sometimes even turn 1, you just have to like send your hand and match it. For example, one of the Phis I played in the 10K, so this would have been day 2, put me to 16 on his first turn. He went first, I went second, obviously. And even with blocking, I started the game at 16. Now, yes, I had 2 no blocks in my hand, but even still, I would have been at 20. And you know, I said, well, you only lost 10 life. Well, now you're in range of like a lot of his hands. You're in range of a lot of hands. And if you're not in range of that hand, you're in range of the hand afterward. So you're pressured to have it. Where if people play AB and they slow the game down, they're like, I want to play a little more passively. I want to soak some damage. You're like, awesome. Let me set myself up to almost guarantee kill you. Right? So I was on the thing that people would bring no AB, and I made my deck a little more aggressive. I had more reds to the deck, as you guys see, there's 21, where I was used to running like 17, 18. I was like, I can just blast people. And the case of this weekend is people were prepared. People were prepared for a Kano. People brought their AB. People even brought Spell Void. I played a 5 that had Spell Void too. That was actually the 5 that put me to 16. He played Spell Void 2 into me. I played Michael Fang round 2 of the 20K. He brought AB2 into me. Now, I ended up winning versus Michael Fang. But at the same time, he said he respects Wizard. And I faced a lot of Spell Void, a lot of AB today. I placed versus 3 dashes that brought AB4 into me. People were prepared. People weren't going to just let the psyops occur. People weren't going to let it happen. Well, even still, because I talked to a lot of other people, I faced a few people that only brought AB1. And I talked to them, and they're like, yeah, I have no reason to bring AB3. Like, I faced a Dory, who you would think would bring AB3. The AB3 was like, no, I'm just going to kill the Kano. I faced Ed Knight on the card guys, and he brought AB1 to me. I felt like that was correct. He thought it was correct. Why dilute your deck facing 2% of the meta when you could just hedge your deck against more matchups that you're going to face more often? That's just my outlook on it. But when it came to Kano, this was my philosophy with the day 2 deck was a philosophy similar to what Majin and Peter were doing. Hopefully they make a video on their tournaments. I would love to hear you guys hear their insight a little more than mine, because obviously they went farther and faced a little harder competition than I did as they progressed into day 2 and the top 8 of the 20K, where I missed my winning into day 2 and barely missed out on top 8 for the 10K. But they were bringing things like straight 60s into people and like only really deciding for Drumai. And we'll talk about some of the spice in the sideboard later. But Um, I kind of liked that thought process. I can actually see if I can go back, and we can actually find. We should be able to find my list. Should be this one. Yeah, so this was actually this is my 20k list. I can actually show you guys. Thank God I did not get rid of it. So this was a 54 card main deck that always brought 6 cards into every matchup. And while every single card had a purpose and I wasn't really diluting my deck, it felt nice to always have a straight 60, a reliable 60 that will always work. And then the only matchup that I changed cards was Draw My. I'd put 3 Aether Darts in, and that was it. This version felt super streamlined and nice, where this deck felt like I wanted to. Maybe it was just a stops I did on myself, but I feel like if I didn't see like my swindles when I side them in, if I didn't see my snapbacks in the aggro matchups, when I didn't see my reverberates, it felt like I felt like if everything just kind of felt worst. But like I said, I think that I was a little lost in my thought processes, and this is I think fine. I think this was fine. I think blue singed. I wouldn't run blue singed back personally. I'd probably just do Aether Dart and like Snapback or Aether Dart Reverberate if I was to redo this list, which would give me 3 sideboard slots. Because for this tournament, even though I knew there would be a bunch of aggro, I didn't have room. At least I didn't give myself room to play things like Spellfire Cloak, which I knew would be good. Because I was like, oh yeah, I want to bring exactly 6 in every matchup, and if I take out like one card here, well that messes up this package, and I have to like throw this card over. This literally how it was. I'll tell you exactly how I board into every matchup. If it was a AB3 plus matchup, Aether Swindle, Swell Tidings. If it was an aggro matchup or like an AB1 matchup, Reverberate, Snapback. If it was into Bravo specifically, it was Aether Swindle, Sink Below. If it was in a Dromai, it was Aether Dart, Singed. Like, it wasn't like complicated or anything. It wasn't. But this deck into this deck, it just felt good. Now, there is one other difference between these two decks that I will talk about, and if I just keep doing this, you guys might see it. And I got roasted a little bit in the Kano Discord, but unfortunately, some voices in my head kind of made me do some dumb shit, to be honest. I got psyopsed into taking a particular card out that absolutely should not have been taken out, and I will address that whenever I see it. So for the main board, the absolute philosophy was to be very, very powerful in aggro. Obviously, leaning on things like Aether Flare and Blazing Aether, even on your own turn sometimes, to chunk out your opponents. But obviously, largely, you wanted your deck to be blue, because whenever you went on your combo turn, you wanted to make sure you had the requisite resources. Now, during this deck tech, you guys are going to hear me walk down my stairs, and that's because I absolutely can. So, actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. We're doing this live. Give me 1 second. Alright, guys, I'm back. I ordered DoorDash like an hour ago, and they were supposed to be here like 20 minutes ago. Before I start recording, so I just said F it. Sorry about that. But largely, you wanted to just lean on being able to block with 2 cards, send a good 2-card hand. And I even upped that in this version. Over this version, Really wanted to streamline the combo turn a little bit more, but could still play that 2-card hand. But I enjoyed the amount of blues. There was only like twice. There was twice where I had a very mana efficient hand, and it probably cost me a lot in the game. More often times than not, I actually legit had almost perfect mana every hand. I either had 4 blues or 3 blues and a red. Maybe 2 blues, a yellow, and a red. But overall, it felt very, very nice. But we'll just go to the card by card of this version, and then also we'll go bounce to this one. So 6 Aether Flare. Aether Flare being one of your very aggressive tools, even the blue one's not bad. Just pumping something else, giving that one a breakpoint. Really devastating in the aggro, especially since they realistically can't efficiently AB it, especially even if they're a blue deck. Because if I just pump this one to 4, and they AB through it, well, it still leaked 1, and now my other thing's coming for more damage, so obviously good. Aether Wildfire, our signature card in Kano. Don't ever play Kano unless it's Blitz without Aether Wildfire, or you're literally just trolling, and I hate you. Blazing Aether being your secondary signature spell. It's literally your specialization for a reason. And one thing I actually learned about this card, and I don't know if maybe everyone already called into this before I did, but this was a realization I had this weekend and I found it out live, was it's okay to like send something like Blazing Aether on like even your own turn, or just if for some odd reason you're blind flipping on your opponent's turn. You really shouldn't be, but if for some odd reason you just have to, for some ungodly reason. If Blazing Aether just deals like 4 to like 10, I'm super excited about that. Like there was a turn where I go Aether Swindle for 5, see a Blazing Aether, activate Kano, Blazing Aether for 5. That's a 10 damage turn, which then puts people in a combo range pretty easily. Before, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't. But I started doing that. Tome of Aether win. Card's bonkers. It's a literally pot of greed, but Wizard's cool, pot of greed's not cool, so figure it out. That's going to be the reds. Going on to the yellows, we have the standard 9 yellows of Lessons, Lava, Sonic Boom, Tome of Findel. And I'll go ahead and give you guys a sneak peek. My Day 2 deck does not have Sonic Boom, and I will talk about that when we talk about Sonic Boom. Well, Lessons in Lava just being your tutor card. I don't know what to tell you. There are so many times that Lessons in Lava is literally the best card in my hand. Because it was like, cool, Lessons in Lava for 3, you physically can't beat it. Let me go get a 2 cost. Voltic Bolt off the top, send it for 5. Or it hit for 2, get a Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom me for 3. You can't block it all out. Let me get another spell. Lessons in Lava, go find Aether Wildfire. Literally, I just have an Aether Wildfire next turn. Lesson in Lava. I already have Aether Wildfire in my arsenal, but I want to leak some damage. Go get a guaranteed blue. It just does so much for the deck. Will never not be in the deck. Sonic Boom, I don't know how to... So let me talk about the psyops of Sonic Boom that my friend had. That was also playing Kano. He's been on the channel for, his name's Judge Dredge, Nathaniel Snyder. He told me the ceiling isn't... I'm kind of paraphrasing what I said. You don't reach the ceiling of Sonic Boom enough more than you reach the floor. And the floor just being like 1 damage, or even sometimes no damage. And inherently, I don't actually disagree with that. But something I was talking to Blazing for Lethal in Discord today, as the day of recording this video, is that in this meta we kind of need to high roll opponent, and Sonic Boom actually allows you to do something like that. Well, yes, even if the floor is 1 damage, well then that's just a 2 for 4. Not great, but not really that bad, especially when you don't really need your opponent to be that low to be able to combo off. And it also digs you deeper into your deck. Like, you just get to use another card in your deck. Another card in your deck just disappears, and that's awesome. Next, we have Tome of Findel, just like Tome of Aether win. It's pretty good. It does double as a little bit of a resource card, but also costs 1 on the back end. So it's kind of weird there. Also, if you're able to play from your arsenal, I actually never got to play from arsenal because the one matchup I went for pitch stack, I was never able to get it into arsenal. So hard to really see how much I was able to maximize Summer Final this weekend. But drawing 2 cards is never bad. So going on to the strictly only blues, we have Blue Aether Dart, Blue Aether Quicken, Energy Potion, which is literally the best card in the game. No one will ever tell me otherwise. This is a 0 for 10. If you understand, you understand. If you don't, I'll explain it. Then you'll be the people that says, if they know, they know. For every time you pump Wildfire, you get 5 damage. It's a multiplier. And it's the same thing with AB. It's minus 5 damage. So saying destroy this, get 10 damage seems pretty good for 0 mana. I don't know how many other 0 for 10s exist in the meta, but let them cook. I have a Fiddy. I have a Fiddy has been like the most like poison chalice card I've ever seen. There were some games where I have a Fiddy was like the MVP. Like there was one Potion of Deja Vu line that only existed because I was able to Ivaphidia. And also against Mara. Let me talk about my game versus Mara. So I played Mara Forest round 4 of the 20k. And I'm going off for my combo turn. First flip is Ivaphidia. And I'm like, wow, that sucks. Okay. So I have 3 cards in hand. And I'm like, I have to go because Mara's presenting a checkmate situation. So I go, and Mara has 1 card in hand. And I'm like, okay, this is my moment. So I go Kano, I go Kano, Crucible, Hold Party, Ragamuffin Hat, draw Eye of Ophidia, and then I end up doing letting the first Kano resolve. That Kano ends up being a Tome of Aetherwind, and then I draw 2 cards. I Kano with opt 2 cards to the bottom. Top card is Lessons. Wildfire is my arsenal. I already have Crucible, and I just go off of a combo from there out of complete nowhere. And that was only because even though I lost me a Kano activation, it gave me information when I sent it again, and it's the only reason I was able to come off. Because if I didn't have I then, if it was any other blue, nothing would have happened, and I just would have died and been very sad. I gave me the reach and gave me the almost put the pieces together to let me kill Mara. Gaze the Ages. Gaze the Ages is a bonkers card. Please, Wizards. You're not Wizards. Please, LSS. Give us more effects like this. Because, like, this effect is just so interesting. Like, it's a effect that, like, inherently an Opt 2 in Kano is actually not that bad. But the fact that if you synergize it with other cards, it becomes amazing. Just getting to reuse the resource. It just adds to the combo element of this deck, and it's just so good. Please, just give us another one. Potion Deja Vu is a card that won me over this weekend. I was always a person that was just like, here's everyone. Everyone says Potion's broken, and I'm like, yeah, Potion's broken. But I'll be honest, I never, maybe like 5 times in my life, have had like a game decided by a Potion of Deja Vu. I'm not gonna lie, probably 3/4 of my games this weekend were decided by Potion of Deja Vu, and I finally see the power of this card. Oh my gosh! The floor of this card was me going, pitch Sonic Boom, pitch Blazing Aether, activate Potion Deja Vu, reveal Sonic Boom, pump Sonic Boom, send it for 4, Sonic Boom for 8. Effectively, 8 damage. Out of nowhere. No one's going to see a Kano have like an E-Pot, 2 cards in hand and think, oh yeah, I'm about to take 8. They're going to be like, oh, they might like play something and like pass or like blind flip. Nope, 8 damage. And then I immediately put them in combo range and then they died next turn. But I think, but I think my favorite line of this whole entire weekend, round one, I'm facing Dash of the 20K. And the Dash is just beating my, you know what, just beating me up. And I draw a hand of Tomes and Blazing Aether. And I'm like, okay. And I don't remember the exact sequence, but basically on my turn, I played a Tome, drew a bunch of blues. So then, I go off with Kano, like I do maybe 6 to 7 damage. But I pitch 5 cards. I pitch 4 blues. Sorry, one of them being Eye of Ophidia, and a Blazing Aether. So I go, alright, he takes 6, he goes to 30 something. And I go alright, I'm gonna break the chain, potion deja vu. And he looks at me funny. And I'm like, here are the cards. I stack the 4 blues, and I stack the Blazing Aether. No, I'm sorry. I had a Lessons in hand, but I still had that same pile. It was 3 blues and a Blazing Aether. I'm sorry, because here's what I remember. He taps out. Well, he has 1 card in hand, 1 resource floating, and I'm like, okay. Activate Kano, reveal Blazing Aether, before I even actually reveal it. And I see him his eyes get wide. He probably thinks, oh, standard Blazing Aether combo. Little does he know, he's about to get double blazinged. So then, with the blazing already, I do a standard Wildfire Lessons combo. Except I get to go Wildfire Lesson Blazing. And killed him, I think he got to exactly -2. And if the blazing was any other card, I don't think he's dead. Unless it's maybe it's Aether Flare or something. He probably could have died. But Potion Deja Vu overperformed this weekend, and I am so excited I went to 2. This card's insane. And then obviously the other standard blues are Prognosticate, Reverberate, Sap, Scalding Rain, and Zap. The one interesting one is Voltic Bolt Blue. This is just to raise the floor on my blues on my 2-card hand turns. And even on my combo turns, if I have excess amount of mana, Voltic Bolt's what I flip off top. As long as I can double pay for Wildfire, this card is pretty fucking good, especially if it's just a regular Blazing combo and I'm not blind flipping again. Card's good. Then I'm going to the sideboard. I kind of already explained it, but I'll explain it again. So versus Drum, I go Aether Dart, Singed. For any AB3 matchup, I go Spindle, Swell Tidings. For Bravo specifically, I go Aether Swindle, Sink Below. For all AB1 or AB0 matchups, I go Reverberate, Snapback. So that was what I did day 1, so let's talk about day 2. Let's get this trash list out of here. So day 2, the philosophy I had is I wanted a 60 that I could bring into every matchup and feel satisfied. And I didn't want to have to dilute my deck. Also, I wanted to be cringe with my sideboard, in case I did well. So obviously, standard equipment, Crucible, Tunic, Node, Hat, Striders. 6 Aether Flare, seems standard. Added 2 Aether Quickenings, just as a solid 1 for 4 that had a high ceiling of being a 1 for 5 that could go again against AB0 and just having to have some really interesting turns. 3 Aether Swindle in the main, because again, we do want to maximize our 2-card hands. Again, that's one reason that we added the Aether Quickening. But the reason why we had Aether Quickening instead of more taller reds, like the Voltic Bolt, is if I am resource light, I can only have a Tunic, I can still have a red Tunic and still Swindle, or I could have Tunic and send Aether Quickening still. I just wanted to make sure that at least if I'm adding reds, I still want to be able to play the reds. And also things like Swell, Aether Swindle is just an insane card. Don't play blues or yellows, they're bad. Stop that. Obviously, Aether Fire, Wildfire. So here, I actually found myself playing this on my main phase a lot more. Or even just sending it on my opponent's turn and just seeing what they do. I was like, here's a Wildfire for 4. 9 pumping it. You think you're going to die this turn? How defensive are you going to play? It would hit them, and then they would just like freeze up and do nothing. And I'm like, cool, I just time walked you for literally no reason. Awesome. Blazing Aether obviously still here. Swell Tongue obviously still here. Total Aether Wind still here. We added one red Voltic Bolt just for a little bit taller on a 2-card hand. Lessons, no Sonic Boom. Obviously, we explained why in the first one, but I'm 100% adding it back in. Total Findo, and obviously the same blue setup here. So here's where the sideboard gets interesting. 3 red Aether, obviously, for the Drama matchup. And obviously, we have really good cards like Command and Conquer for our matchup. And we have Life of the Party. Life of the Party being a 2-for-4 for the matchup. Premeditate. Premeditate's actually really, really solid when you combo it with like your other attack actions. So you can get that Ponder token. And obviously giving a +3 if it was able to be in your arsenal. Premeditate pretty good in Kano. Love playing this off the top. Ravenous Rabble, probably one of the best 0-for-2s in the whole entire game. And it's always just going to let you know what's on top of your deck, so whenever you Kano off, you get to obviously have a little more information. Sigil Sauce, obviously because this art's just pretty. Sink Below because it's the best card in the game. A holiday version of the Cracked Bottle specifically because it's about to be the holidays. Memorial Ground just to recur things like Ravenous Rabble. Because Ravenous Rabble being a 0-for-2 is really important when you're trying to kill Chrome Eyes and stuff. And obviously Northern Hood for the mirror match, as well as Spellfire Cloak for the mirror match. Obviously really solidly solid. But all honesty, guys, Spellfire Cloak and the Aether are the only things that ever came in ever. It's no secret that this is literally just trolling. I just wanted to have a straight 60 that always felt good. And Aether Dart taking out 2 Quickenings and Voltic Bolt made this deck just feel just as good. And obviously, Spellfire Cloak in your really aggressive matchups just also felt really good. And that like now that the bricks are out, guys, if Peter and Caleb come out with their decks, please just don't fuck up the market, guys. I don't need another Talshar incident where everyone's like, guys, I'm about Talshar. Just made a top 8. Like, if I see a Gore Belching, like, even sold in the next, like, 2 fucking years, I'm gonna be pissed. But guys, hope you guys enjoyed this Kano deck tech. I might come out with a dedicated video talking about both tournaments. I am trying to, like, rest a lot because it was a long weekend, and I did it right after work, and it's just a lot, guys. So, enjoy this video. If I come on more Kano videos in the near future, be excited for those. If I don't, be excited for what comes after that. If you guys enjoyed the show here, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys want to see next. It's been your boy Siphon TCG. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Ravenous Kano, baby.